Representation is a concept that is mostly understood but invariably poorly written about. Yes, I know I ended a sentence in preposition, so comment away. In the English ATAR syllabus, we're given the following definition. Representation refers to the way people, events, issues, or subjects are presented in a text. The term implies that texts are not mirrors of the real world, they're constructions of reality. These constructions are partially shaped through the writer's use of conventions and techniques. I'd like to go out on a limb here and give you one simple word to make things a bit easier. The word as makes anything that follows make a bit more sense. Think of representation as coming before the word as. So let's start with some examples using representation of women as a bit of a case study. We have woman as housewife, woman as mother, woman as princess, woman as sexual object, woman as damsel in distress, and lastly, woman as victim of male violence in this ad that's supposedly there to sell shoes. Each of these representations reflects a perspective about what it means to be a woman. It's one that's been historically constructed to disempower women, but we don't have to be imprisoned by these representations, and texts can challenge these dominant representations by subverting them or constructing new ones. Let's have a look at a few that have emerged in the last few years on television. We have woman as warrior, woman as power broker or anti-hero, woman as avenger who doesn't need to be rescued by men, woman as expert, woman as breaker of glass ceilings, woman as superhero and anti-hero. With all these representations of women that are going against the traditional grain, it should be easy to construct strong female characters. But it turns out that it's not that common to find female characters that are interesting and inspire us to want to be them. The character of Trinity in The Matrix seems to be a strong female character, but the filmmakers ended up reducing her to a mere prop in the story of a male protagonist saving the universe. As it turns out, there's some simple rules for evaluating whether the strong woman as warrior, woman as hero character is actually a strong female representation. After being introduced, does your strong female character then fail to do anything fundamentally significant to the outcome of the plot? Anything at all? If she does accomplish something plot significant, is it primarily getting raped, beaten, or killed to motivate the male hero? Or deciding to have sex with, not have sex with, agreeing to date, deciding to break up with a male hero, or nagging a male hero into growing up, or nagging him to stop being so heroic? Basically, does she only exist to service the male hero's needs, development, and motivations? Could your strong female character be seamlessly replaced with a floor lamp with some useful information written on it to help the male hero? Is a fundamental plot point of your story that the strong female character is the strongest, smartest, meanest, toughest, or even most experienced character in the story until the protagonist arrives? Or worst, does he enter the story as a bumbling buffoon, but spend the whole movie rapidly evolving past her while she stays entirely static and even cheers him on? Does your strong female character exist primarily so the protagonist can impress her? It's nice if she's hyper cool, but does she only start off that way so a male hero will look even cooler by comparison when he rescues or surpasses her? Is she so strong and capable that she's never needed rescuing before now, but once the plot kicks into gear, she's suddenly captured or threatened by the villain and needs the hero's intervention? Is breaking down her pride a fundamental part of the story? Does she disappear entirely for the second half or the third act of the film for any reason other than because she's doing something significant to the plot besides being a hostage or dying? These questions here help us to evaluate whether a seemingly strong female character is in fact one, because lately we've seen a number of seemingly strong female characters on screen that may just be cynical ploys by producers to look like they're having a bit of a diversity agenda. By thinking about representations through the word as, we can more easily look at a text as a construction. We can move into the how of the representation. We can then look at the effect of this representation on how we look at the person, social group, or event. In part 2, we'll look at how events can be developed through the process of representation.